What's up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster. And the only thing more satisfying than enjoying a game like Marvel Rivals that's just kicking butt right out of the gate is drinking in the anger and irritation of people who are butthurt about its success.
I hate you!
I'm very aroused.
So Marvel Rivals has started off extremely strong, with damn near 450,000 players on Steam on its first night of launch. That number is likely to go up over the weekend, marking the most successful launch that we've seen on Steam for quite a while. It's not surprising to see the game do well though, considering that, as you can see in this clip playing in the background right now, the developers know what females look like, which is a clear signal to a lot of us that this game is safe to play and won't be trying to preach progressive shit at us. It was made by Chinese company NetEase, so it won't have purple-haired, screeching harpies from the HR department dictating their weird agendas to the players.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
No thanks, bro.
The game has been released for going on something like half a day by now, and as of the time of this recording, the Metacritic score for the game is TBD, to be determined, because the game journalists are refusing to input their reviews onto the review aggregator. They did the same thing, as you might remember, to the Lollipop Chainsaw Repop game back in September. This is the journalists' method of trying to damage the game's chances. I suspect that they are unhappy that the game features characters like Black Widow here, who looks like an actual woman. These journalists much prefer characters like the freaks that we saw in the hero shooter Concord, but unlike that piece of shit, Marvel Rivals is doing really well. The former president of Blizzard is fairly pissed off about this though, claiming that Rivals is just an Overwatch clone. He went on a little tirade on X, complaining about Marvel Rivals, and the community note that got attached to it is glorious. In fact, all the responses from the people who want this game to fail are just delicious. I can't help but drink it all in. But alright, let's talk about Marvel Rivals and how well it's doing, and also how all the right people are pissed off at its success. Yes, it is a free-to-play game, but going on 500,000 players is nothing to sneeze at, because you just know that a good chunk of those people are dropping some money on this game. And keep in mind that this is on other platforms as well, like PlayStation and Xbox, so it has some potential to really rake in the money. And you'd think that a game of this size and immediate popularity, featuring a franchise that is just about the most famous IP around, you'd think that the game journalists would be all over this game, telling you what they think about it, but they're refusing to drop their scores on Metacritic, and I can see two potential reasons for this. Either they're not sure what to say about it, because on one hand, it's a Disney property and they know they're supposed to support Disney, but on the other hand, it's a normal game featuring attractive female characters, so they know they should hate it. But the other potential reason is that they've already decided to try to kill the game by ignoring it and not helping to generate buzz. They did the same thing to Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. And I can't help but notice that the only time this ever seems to happen is when it involves a game that features females who actually look like females and dudes who look like dudes, and or it involves a game that is being made by a company that isn't from the West. There are only 2 reviews of the game on Metacritic so far. One of them is from IGN, who hasn't scored it, but does say the following in its review with the to-be-determined score. So far then, I'm having enough fun with Marvel Rivals to be interested in more. It's also the exact Overwatch imitator that I thought it would be. And then Games Radar is the other review currently available, and they're the only one that's given it an actual score. They gave it a 50 out of 100, and their review says, Marvel Rivals wants to reinvent the hero shooter genre with its complex characters and special synergies, but it's so preoccupied with trying to be like Overwatch that it forgets to play to its own strengths. Its oversized roster also needs more balancing and more differentiation from Blizzard's stable of heroes. This is the same outlet that literally just gave Indiana Jones and the Great Circle a perfect score. As Jay Viper wrote on Twitter, showcasing the differences in these scores between these 2 games that just came out, he said, "Same company, Games Radar, convince me they aren't just anti-Eastern games. They want DEI pushed, and they want it pushed in everything, or they'll lowball it." And yeah, I'm pretty sure he's right. That's why some of these Eastern companies, like Square Enix, have started going down the DEI woke rabbit hole, because they are afraid of the perpetual propaganda machine in the gaming access media. That is why the success of games like Stellar Blade, Black Myth Wukong, Marvel Rivals, all of them successful in the face of opposition from the access media. All of their successes are so important because they act as beacons of hope. They show these companies in the East, and theoretically also over here in the West as well, though the Westerners are generally too ideologically captured to even notice it, but they show everyone that you don't have to bow down to the access media and their tired old methods of trying to box everyone in to thinking the same things they do. The access media has lost a shitload of its potency now that so many content creators can give you their honest opinions on platforms like this, on platforms like YouTube, or on Twitter, or whatever. Gamers largely disregard these traditional media outlets these days, and they play what looks good. But, as I said a few minutes ago, the media isn't the only one pissed at this game. The former president of Blizzard, Mike Ibarra, wrote on X, "Looks like Overwatch Marvel Rivals ships tomorrow. Much like Light of Motirum, a clear copy of Horizon Zero Dawn out of China. I mean, even the character name, Widowmaker in Overwatch versus Black Widow in Marvel Rivals, LOL. NetEase/Tencent, all the same." But then the community notes issued a fairly brutal takedown of this guy right below that. Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, is a popular Marvel hero who made her comic debut in 1964, more than 50 years before Overwatch and Widowmaker were created. The poster is spreading misinformation. And here's the thing. Would I personally like it if I could play games made in the West rather than stuff coming out of China? Absolutely. I would prefer that for a variety of reasons that I'm not going to get into here, but suffice to say, I'd much rather support American companies. But when those companies flat out refuse to make things that I enjoy, taking glee in the fact that they're putting out crap that most gamers don't like, well, I can't support that. As soon as a Western company like Saber Interactive, when they made Space Marine 2, as soon as one of them makes something worth playing, I jump all over it. I tell you guys all the time, well, not all the time because they don't make games all the time that are good, but as soon as I can, I tell you guys about games that we should support. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is another example of a Western game that I'm anticipating, that I've said that we should all be ready to go out and play. But those games are few and far between, and in the meantime, I'm willing to play games made by whoever. Western studios have abandoned a large chunk of the market, and the Chinese and Koreans are swooping in and filling that gap. Meanwhile, the game journalists are seemingly either trying to tank Marvel Rivals by not discussing it at all, or they're just waiting for their NPC update and don't know what to do. Either way, I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your mockery of game journalists as they fail to take down Marvel Rivals. Drop that mockery into the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of